What are we doing here, people? What in God's name are we doing here with this Nintendo Switch 2 itis? It's really a disease, but I feel like it's a disease that has gone way beyond just my little mug and my little blanket. We've gone way beyond that. Because I was hopeful on Saturday when we talked about all the things that were allegedly happening because, you know, people always rush to FAMA boards. If I had a lot of information to give out to the world, I would go to a controlled message forum instead of, you know, trying to make money on it myself through videos or a website of my own. No, I would go through this random forum in order to get that news out there. And there was tons of stuff that was happening at the tail end of last week. Saturday, I made a video, and I was hopeful. I was hopeful that was the end of it. But no, because the Clipgate mongers, the usual suspects, 3 days in a row, they've been talking about Nintendo Switch 2. And as you can see here, it's the usual suspect himself. But jokes aside, it seems like there's more stuff to talk about with this now. And I'm just perplexed by this. I'm really perplexed when you look at the people that are talking about it, the track records involved. It's like, what are we even doing here? But hey, if there's money to be made and a discussion to be had and people to dunk on, RGT is going to do it. So what are we talking about here? Oh, let's start out hot with Nash Weedle, the legend Nash Weedle, who I don't know why anyone would listen to Nash Weedle. We're over on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit forum where people seem to be very excited for all of this Switch 2 stuff, by the way. So this is probably giving people the reason to talk about this sort of stuff. Nash Weedle says Switch 2 ports of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Mirage, Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins are coming. Assassin's Creed Shadows is being ported to the Nintendo Switch 2. The intention is to have it ready for the launch window of Nintendo's new console. Ports of Assassin's Creed Mirage, Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins will be coming. The latter, Odyssey and Origins, in a bundle, and the Necro Felipe, the king, comes along and backs up the Shadows ports claim. Now, Ubisoft putting games on a video game system. Ubisoft, the company that released several Assassin's Creed games, some of them even being cloud versions of games, on the standard Nintendo Switch, well after they had released on other platforms. Is this really a leak? Is this really some sort of insider information? Or is this just taking a safe bet that Ubisoft, a company that is having some problems right now, will probably re-release some of their older Assassin's Creed games on the upcoming system, much like they did on the standard Switch? Like, I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get why this is considered to be like a big deal or something. What are we going to say? The first Nintendo Switch 2 game has been confirmed. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, is that what people are excited about? Is that what we want out there? Is that what we're doing out there? So, yeah, sure. Nash Weedle, you know, great track record over there. Always spot on. But that's not enough, folks. That is not enough, because we got to get into the hardware itself. Christopher Dring, dung dung jing, dung dung jing, dung dung jing, dung dung jing, from GamesIndustry.biz, which is now owned by IGN. Just wanted to say that. Developers are being told not to expect the Switch 2 to launch this fiscal year. Well, yeah. Okay. Taken from a Reset Era post. And then we get into the information that was done at the 1 minute mark of a podcast. The second one is that no developer I've spoken to expected it to launch in this financial year. In fact, they've been told not to expect it in this financial year. So they didn't expect it to launch in the year, but they've also been told not to expect it. So that's kind of a double, back and forth, but whatever. A bunch of people I spoke to hope it's out in April or May time, still early next year, not too late. And then, of course, that's not enough. Because good old Mochizuki, here we go. Just put some smiley faces, but I know people are dooming about it, so I thought I'd share it here too. And then an article from overseas says that Nintendo's next generation console will not be released by the end of the fiscal year. Instead, at the beginning of the year, it was as early as next March, but recently there were fewer and fewer people who put March as a possibility. So smiley faces. Smiley faces are what we're doing here. Now, when it comes to Christopher Dring, you know, they've been right about some things. They've been incorrect about other things. You know who actually made a decent enough video about that sort of situation? Was Nintendo Prime. I know, giving kudos to the devil himself. Just kidding. But, you know, kind of some of the inconsistencies in previous things that Christopher had said about Nintendo. Now, does that sort of negate this whole sort of thing? Not necessarily, because if you're talking to developers now, you know, they might not be expecting this system because maybe they don't know about the system. It depends on kind of what developers we're talking about. If we're talking about an indie developer with like 1 or 2 people working there, then sure, they probably don't really know what they're talking about. But beyond this, beyond all of this, we have to go back to what was kind of one of the cruxes of what we were talking about Saturday. And that is some of these other people. PH Brazil, Necro Felipe. Now, the interesting thing about PH Brazil, I saw a couple people online saying that in Brazil, nobody really puts stock into what PH Brazil says. It's more so a US thing where people listen to him and give him credit. Now, that could just be random troll accounts online, so I don't really know that. But if you are in Brazil and you follow gaming news and journalism and, you know, you live in Brazil, you know, first and foremost, send me a couple of your women. I would like 3. 1 to cook, 1 to clean, and 1 to work. You know what I'm saying? Love Brazilian women. But more importantly for this, what's sort of the vision of PH Brazil in Brazil? Like, is he someone that is respected? But I thought the event was getting pushed up, and we had events pushing up, and oh boy, got updates on that too. So Eurogamer says that now the earliest is 2025 of April. Necro Felipe, I have no reason to publish the rumor shared by Dring earlier on after making some inquiries. I'll wait. So now we've got the Civil War going on here, folks. We've got the Civil War. We've got Battle of the Leakers. Dring and Necro Felipe and PH Brazil. Necro Felipe and PH Brazil saying, hey, it's coming sooner rather than later. Dring saying, hey, you know, I don't know. I think it's going to come later. And it's just like, oh my God. This is insanity. You know what it is at the end of the day? Look at me. You know what this is at the end of the day? I think it's a bunch of people just talking out of their ass, making educated guesses based on things that make sense from a chronological standpoint. From a chronological standpoint, does it make sense for the Nintendo Switch successor to be revealed in September, maybe August, maybe October, and then launched in February, maybe March, maybe April? Sure, because you're basing that on what we saw with the original Nintendo Switch. Does it make sense for Ubisoft to put games onto a brand new system like they've done for every console generation ever, including the original Nintendo Switch, with Assassin's Creed games, which are the games that are in question here? Sure, it makes sense. We've seen it before. Does it make sense that Nintendo could potentially wait to release this system? Maybe things aren't ready yet. Maybe they need a little bit more time. Maybe they're still seeing good enough numbers from the current Nintendo Switch to the point of where they're like, hey, we don't need to do this right now. We could wait a little bit longer. Sure, that does make sense. The system hasn't completely fallen off of a cliff. Yes, it's slowed down, but we still know about games coming out in 2024 and 2025, and we assume there'll be some sort of Nintendo Direct presentation as far as talking about games for the standard Nintendo Switch. Does that negate the thing that there could be more, a Switch 2 presentation this year? No, it doesn't. It all comes down to timing. You don't want to blow your load too soon, but you also don't want to hold it in too long to where you can't blow the load, or when you blow the load, hey, it doesn't blow properly. At the end, this is just like, it's like kids fighting on a playground over nothing. Like, and the thing of it is it's not going to end anytime soon. If anything, it's just going to get worse. You know what? At this point, Nintendo should just come out and be like, you know what? Screw all of you. We're tired of you. We're tired of all these YouTubers and websites and leaks and rumors and shit like that. We're done. There is no Switch 2. This is the system. This is how it will remain. We will make games for this system until the end of time. And it's all your fault. I would love if they came out with that. Now, granted, I'd be leaving a lot of money on the table as well, because obviously Switch 2 stuff is going to be something that a lot of people are interested in, especially at the launch of the system. But my God, but it's okay. Because I'm sure Clickbait Wave will be back with another video tomorrow to let you know the latest updates. I'm just kidding. He's my friend. Trust me, I say much worse things to him in private. It's like I said in yesterday's video. We're always yelling at each other in the group chat. That's part of the group chat. That's part of being friends with someone. So, we have a lot of things I need clarification on here. First and foremost, my Brazilian viewers. Is PH Brazil viewed as an authority in Brazil? I'm genuinely curious about that, because I do know I have, a lot of Brazilian viewers. Shout outs to Brazil, man. Them women. God almighty. Do we think it's going to be after the fiscal year or before the fiscal year? Is there an event happening soonish, or it's not happening soonish, or it's going to come out in holiday of 2025 now? Like, what the hell? What do you think? What do you think? Because at this point in time, I honestly feel like the person watching this video is just as informed as I am, and is just as informed as anyone else is out there. Because I think a lot of this is just a bunch of bullshit. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Go Giants. I'm getting in my football mood. I actually bought this jersey last season before Daniel Jones. I think it was against the Cardinals. He played really well. He led him back, and I was really excited. And then I never wore this jersey because the Giants just fell off a cliff. I have hope for this year, though. Go Giants. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.